Hello, ghouls, and welcome to Brave the Basement. I'm your host, Ghoul the Rules.
I'm your co-host, Black One Jack 2.
If you enjoy getting a little scared, ghost stories, haunted houses, a believer in the supernatural, or maybe even a skeptic wanting to look at things from a different perspective, then this is the show for you. Today's episode is sponsored by Ed's Barbershop. Ed's Barbershop is located at 210 Lane Street in North Judson, Indiana. So if you enjoy getting your hair cut from a hometown barber with that old-fashioned feel, dial 574-896-3344 and schedule your appointment today. Hey, Black Jack, how's it going?
Pretty excited, ready to go.
So, for those wondering, Black Jack did not miss last week because of his injury. He's just got a very busy schedule. How you feeling, Black Jack?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to play again, so that's good.
So you ready to hit the courts again?
Yep.
Well, that's fantastic news. So today's episode, we're going to talk about the Witch of Yazoo. But before I get into that, Black Jack, I did want to talk about something. You suggested that I check out the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer because it had the mini Marshmallow Man and a whole bunch of them. And so not only did I check out the trailer, but I went to the movies for the first time since the pandemic came, and I got to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife.
How was it? Because I haven't. Don't spoil it, because some of the viewers and me have not watched the movie yet.
It was fantastic. It was definitely the Ghostbusters movie that we've wanted for a long time. Because Ghostbusters 1 was made in 1984. Ghostbusters 2 was made in 1989. And we've been dying for a third Ghostbusters movie. And when Harold Ramis died in 2012, it was just absolutely obvious that we wasn't going to get a Ghostbusters 3 in the traditional sense. And I'll say it like that because you just have to go and watch Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Did any of the old actors pop in?
I am not saying nothing.
Oh, don't be like that. Okay, come on.
Hey, I'm giving zero spoilers here. I'm just telling everybody, go check out the movie. Because obviously, well, not only am I a Ghostbusters fan of, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, I also grew up watching the real Ghostbusters cartoon. And, Black Jack, if you look over there, I have all four characters, the action figures.
And you have a little Ghostbusters sign.
Yes, I do. So I am a big Ghostbusters fan. And at my dad's house, I still have a ghost trap and my proton pack. So I was seriously into the Ghostbusters when I was growing up. So, the Witch of Yazoo. So before I get into the witch, one thing I want to mention is nobody knows where the witch came from or what her real name was. Okay, it's very important to understand that. So this takes place in Mississippi. So there's a place in Mississippi called Yazoo, Mississippi, obviously, right? So during the 1880s, many fishermen who fished on the Yazoo River did not return from their fishing trips. The witch would lure these men in her home and poison them with arsenic. She would bury the bodies in the woods nearby. So in August of 1884, a fisherman was passing by on the river. He heard a scream coming from the witch's cabin. He ran up to the window of the house and seen two dead men in the living room. He also seen the witch singing chants and waving her arms in circles. The man went back to Yazoo City and got the local sheriff. By the time the sheriff made it, the bodies were gone, and so was the witch. In the attic, they found cats that were badly malnourished and two skeletons hanging from the rafters. A search party started looking for the witch when they heard rustling of some leaves by the house. They seen the witch trying to sneak away into the woods. She was described as looking half ghost and half scarecrow, but all witch. They started to chase after her, and after a few minutes, they were able to catch up with her. She got caught in quicksand. This is where it gets really creepy. It says right before she was consumed by the quicksand, she told the sheriff, "I shall return. Everybody always hated me here. I will break out of my grave and burn down the whole town on the morning of the 25th of May, 1904. She was buried in the middle of the town cemetery named Glenwood Cemetery. And if you go to bravethebasement.weebly.com to our photo gallery, I do have a photo of her gravesite. The townsfolk wrapped the heaviest chain they could find around her grave. The sheriff said if she can break through that, she deserves to burn down Yazoo. So what do you think, Blackjack, happened on May 25th, 1904?
City goes up in flames.
You darn tootin' it does. So on May 25th, 1904, a house caught fire. The winds picked up and the fire spread, destroying over 200 residences and all the businesses. 324 buildings in total were destroyed. Witnesses said they seen the flames jumping through the air, and it appeared a supernatural force was at work. The next day, many residences made their way to the cemetery. They found the chain around the witch's grave had been broken in two. Current local lore says that when all the chains are gone from her grave, the witch will return again to exact her revenge on Yazoo City. To this day, our cemetery sextons are very careful to keep the chains repaired and in place, though they often are broken again very soon after being repaired.
You know, there has to be some coincidence. I mean, come on. I mean, someone could have been cooking some pizza or something and 19 whatever. And, you know, I don't know. Come on. Someone's playing a trick.
So you think that somebody heard of this whole
folklore?
Yeah, this whole folklore around this witch and purposely started a fire that burnt, 300 and some buildings?
Yeah. I mean, insurance money.
Insurance money.
I mean, maybe if you owned a couple of those businesses.
Yeah, the total was 324 buildings. So you're not thinking witch at all.
No, I'm thinking someone's like, hey, folklore, on this day, burn down something.
Okay, but so what did this person gain from doing this, Blackjack?
Insurance money.
Insurance money.
Yeah.
So they used a local folklore to claim insurance money.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just, come on. I mean, someone has to be playing a trick here.
So what if this really was a witch?
Then, like the sheriff said, let the city burn, I guess.
Well, so what I don't know is if the sheriff was alive when this happened, and you know, let's say that he was. Let's say you were the sheriff.
Okay, I'm the sheriff.
Okay, so you're the sheriff, and you made that comment. And when the day comes and the whole city burns down, what say you?
At that point, I just tip my hat and just leave the city. Tip the hat.
So you just walk off?
Yeah, I walk off. I mean,
I was trying to come up with a Red Dead Redemption 2 crossover here, but nothing came to mind, Blackjack, because you said, you know, you tip your hat, you
tip
just
the hat.
walk off. while the city's burning.
I had, you know what's crazy? Back to that one video where we're doing the mind reading stuff. I was thinking about like Red Dead 2.
So if you go on visit yazoo.org, it talks about the whole thing. And it says here, today, adults and children alike enjoy taking a tour of Glenwood Cemetery and hearing the story of the witch, affectionately termed the Chain Lady by many in modern day Yazoo.
Hey,
Yes.
Before, I'm sorry that I cut you off, but I wonder, do the chains still be, do the chains like cut off still? Like at the cemetery, like today at 2021.
Yeah.
They still they still have to repair the chains?
Yeah. So if you go to bravethebasement.weebly.com, you'll see the picture of her grave. And actually, this one isn't. I'm still on Visit Yazoo. There's a marker that says Witch's Grave with an arrow pointing.
Huh.
To show you the way to find the witch's grave. So as well as the story of many other famous and infamous Yazooans, led by our costume storytellers, many others visit to see the grave by themselves and to enjoy the peace and serenity that can be found only in such an historic resting place as Glenwood. You can learn more about scheduling a tour for your group by visiting our tours page or download the Witch's brochure. And it includes a map to the grave to visit on your own time if you like. So some folks have said that the truth of the witch's grave is that a man is buried there. Make no mistake, there is no evidence of this. In fact, the only record ever to have been found, to our knowledge, shows that a woman owned the plot in Glenwood where the witch's grave is located. Many years ago, the stone, which is now long gone, which was original to the grave, only had the letters TW, and people believe that stood for the witch. The stone, which is now in place, mysteriously fell and split in two shortly after installation. No one knows why for certain. The heavy chains surrounding the grave are constantly being repaired, so there's your answer, Blackjack, only to fall apart again shortly after. There is certainly some mysterious force at work here. Come see for yourself and hear the story, then decide what you believe. Current local lore says that when all of the chains are gone from her grave, the witch will return again to exact her revenge on Yazoo City. To this day, our cemetery sextons are very careful to keep the chains repaired in place, though they are often broken again very soon after being repaired. So what do you think of that, Blackjack? So first you said, this was your claim, that the fire was started by somebody wanting to use the folklore so that they can collect some insurance money. Then when they put up a new stone for the witch, it falls over, splits in two, and that's what you'll see in the picture on bravethebasement.weebly.com under the photo gallery, that the stone's laying on the ground and it is split in two. And then they keep trying to repair the chains, but they keep getting broken. What say you to that one, Blackjack?
Either A, it's a witch, or B, some kid is just trying to play a prank. But let's stick with answer A.
So you want to stick with it? So now you're saying it's a witch.
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's like you're in like, my gut wants to say it's some kid. You know, they push over the grave, they take whatever pickaxe or whatever, break it, and they're just trying to stay with the this little prank here. But the chains would be very hard to break constantly.
Yeah, so it seems like
it's then you think, well, what do they have to gain with that?
You know, just to kind of keep people freaked out, I guess. And I'm trying to pull up, so I can't read all of it because the stone is split And here, Blackjack, I know you haven't seen the picture yet. That's the picture of the stone itself.
That's a pretty nice cut right there.
Yeah, so
if that was done by human hands, that would have been as straight.
I thought I'll have to go back and see if I could find a picture that shows the chains as well, because I did not put that on the website. But from this picture, it tells, according to local legend, on May 25th, 1904, and then I can't really read a whole lot after that. But here's the weird thing. At the bottom of this stone, it says, in honor of Ray Rogers Sr., Sexton, 21 years, January 7th, 1974 to July 1st, 1995, Glenwood Cemetery, Yazoo City, Mississippi. So I think that this was, somebody not necessarily related to the witch, obviously, because it said that he's a sexton. So I just found it odd that they would add that to her grave, just kind of out of the blue like that. What do you think, Blackjack?
Maybe the witch got mad that they added that, and she was like, no, and wanted to cut up the grave.
So do you even know what a sexton is, Blackjack?
No.
A sexton is the office of the person or persons who are in charge of a cemetery. They are often referred to as the caretaker of a cemetery. Churches also have a sexton for the maintenance of the church building and or the surrounding graveyard. In larger buildings such as cathedrals, a team of sextons may be employed. So this guy was a sexton. He was a cemetery caretaker. But they put him, in memory of him on her stone.
Yeah, I would be pretty mad if I was her. I would be mad too.
I find that extremely interesting that they would do that on her stone. So, action item for the Ghoul That Rules. I need to find the other picture that kind of shows the chains, because I want to include that as well. I didn't think about it when I uploaded the photo. But go to bravethebasement.weebly.com, check out the photos of the witch's grave. And so, final chance, Blackjack. Was this a witch?
It's a witch.
Or was this multiple
It's a
people?
witch.
Oh, he's sticking with witch. So earlier in the episode, he's like, oh, no, definitely wasn't a witch. It was just completely...
I mean, listen, it's a hassle to keep up this prank. Come on.
You know what, Black? I just thought of something, and I want you to think about this. So let's say that it was somebody who was using the folklore to start a fire to collect some insurance money. How did they know that the entire town would catch fire when they believed that the fire was caught at a private residence that just ended up getting out of control? It's like they said that the winds just came in all of a sudden, like.
Maybe the person owned the business. Well, so maybe that person decided on their house, meaning to set their house on fire for the money or whatever, and he didn't realize that the whole town would get swallowed up.
I'm putting my money on a witch for this one.
Yeah, it's a witch.
We covered a couple witches last season. And I think that this is probably the strongest case that we've covered.
Because this person predicted about like what? 18, it was like 18 what?
1880.
1880 to 19 in the early
1904, I think
1904. It was. That's about 20, 30 years if I'm doing quick math.
Yeah, so that would be
20
like 20
years.
24 years. So, before we get out of here, Blackjack, we are officially starting the Season 3, Episode 20 closer. So, we are now into the countdown. This is episode number 15. So, that means after this episode, we got 5 more for this season. Can you believe that this is already going to be the end of season 3?
No.
So, if you're keeping score at home, we do about 20 episodes a season. So, when we do that 20th episode for season 3, it will be the 60th episode of Brave the Basement. It seems like yesterday when we started this.
Yeah, it's funny how it's like looking back and watching our first episode, how like robotish we talked.
Yeah, it was completely different.
It was like, "Hi guys, Grandma's house, pretty scary." I'm like, "Oh, did you see someone?" It was all weird.
Do you remember how many times on that first episode that we had? I think it took us like 3 hours to record that 20-minute episode. Remember that?
It was painful because we had like, "Hang on, I messed up. Edit. Oh, I messed up again. Okay, how should I say this? Hey, what should we say?" It was good memories.
Yeah, so, here's a crazy Brave the Basement fact. I don't do any post-episode editing.
Nope.
At all. Do we, Blackjack?
No.
I do real-time editing. So if there's something I said, I'm like, man, I got to stop that. I'll actually stop on my recording system, kind of go back to a place that I feel comfortable with restarting from, and we'll go from there. And literally, when the episode's done, we take off our headphones, and I grab my computer and I plug it into my recording system. I hit the theme music, and then I save that sucker, and we're done.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's definitely different from doing like gaming when I do YouTube, because I have to record everything. So some of like my streams, Ghoul Rules, would be around 3 hours long, and I would have to go around, watch each section, and clip out the sections I wanted to do so I could post on the YouTube channel.
So this is I try to keep this a radio feel for Blackjack and myself as much as possible, and kind of trying to do it in one take. And we leave the ums and the stuttering and all that in there.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Like I'm doing it right now, but
you'll do it more when you talking about doing it. I'll tell you that. But anyway, Blackjack, so it's time to get out of here. So if you'd like to become a Brave the Basement Ghoul, be sure to share this show on social media. Go to bravethebasement.weebly.com and sign up for our newsletter to get all the latest news and updates when each episode has been posted. If you have a ghost story you would like to share, you could reach us at bravethebasement@gmail.com. Your story could make it on the show and be featured on the website. You can also submit your story on Reddit under the subreddit Brave the Basement or in the YouTube comment section. If you have an eerie ghost photo you would like to share, please email us and include a description, and your photo could be added to our photo gallery. And that brings us to the end. We hope that we brought you just a little fright. And remember, when you were up late at night and you hear something in the other room that just doesn't seem right, it's okay if you need to turn on the light to protect yourself from things that go bump in the night. I'm your host, Ghoul That Rules.
I'm your co-host, Black One Jack 2.
And I hope you join us again. Until next time.